In the heart of every city, under the glow of street lights and the shadow of tall buildings, there are stories most people never see. One of those stories belongs to Daniel. Daniel wasn't always homeless. Once he had a job, a small apartment, and dreams like anyone else. But life doesn't always move in a straight line. A sudden layoff, medical bills he couldn't pay, and the weight of debt slowly pushed him to the edge. One night he found himself on a cold park bench, clutching a worn-out backpack, the last reminder of the life he had lost. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Hunger was constant, sleep was broken, and the stares of strangers cut deeper than the cold. People passed by as if he was invisible, as if his worth had vanished along with his home. The hardest part wasn't the empty stomach, but the emptiness inside, the feeling that he no longer mattered. But Daniel's story didn't end there. One morning at a local shelter, he met a volunteer who simply looked him in the eyes and said, "You still have value. Don't give up." Those words sparked something inside him. For the first time in months, Daniel felt a flicker of hope. He started small, volunteering at the same shelter that fed him, washing dishes, sweeping floors, helping others who were struggling like him. Slowly, he built a routine, a reason to wake up each morning. And in giving, he began to heal. Opportunities came little by little. A temporary job at a construction site, a chance to save a few dollars, a mentor who believed in him and helped him apply for a training program. It wasn't easy. There were setbacks, rejections, and nights when doubt returned. But Daniel kept going, fueled by that fragile flame of hope. Months later, he stood inside his own small apartment again. The walls were bare, the furniture secondhand, but to him it felt like a castle. Because it wasn't just a home, it was proof that he had risen from the ground he once slept on. Daniel's journey reminds us of a truth we often forget. Homelessness is not the end of a person's story. Behind every face on the street is someone's father, mother, brother, or friend. Someone with dreams, talents, and a soul worth saving. From homeless to hope, Daniel's life is proof that with compassion, resilience, and a hand extended in kindness, anyone can stand tall again. So the next time you see someone on the streets, don't just walk past. Remember Daniel. Remember that hope can be the bridge between despair and a new beginning. And sometimes all it takes is one person, one word, one act of kindness to change a life forever. Life after homelessness wasn't easy for Daniel. Having 4 walls and a key of his own was a victory, but it didn't erase the scars of the streets. Nights of hunger and days of rejection still echoed in his memory. Each time he passed a bench, he remembered sleeping there, cold and invisible. Each time he saw someone holding a cardboard sign at the intersection, he felt their silent cry. Because once, that had been him. Instead of running away from those memories, Daniel used them as fuel. He began volunteering more, not because he had to, but because he knew what it meant to be seen, to be acknowledged as human. At local schools, he spoke to kids about resilience. At shelters, he reminded others that homelessness is not a permanent identity, but a chapter, one that could be rewritten with courage and community. His story began spreading. A local newspaper wrote about the man who rose from the streets. A church invited him to share his testimony. Soon, Daniel wasn't just surviving, he was inspiring. He found his voice, not as a victim, but as a messenger of hope. But success didn't mean the journey was without challenges. Daniel still battled fear. What if he lost it all again? What if one wrong turn took him back to the pavement? Yet, every time doubt whispered, he remembered the night a stranger told him, "You still have value." Those words had carried him through darkness, and now he carried them to others. Slowly, doors opened. A nonprofit offered him a full-time role helping homeless veterans reintegrate into society. Daniel poured his heart into the work. He knew the pain of being unseen, so he made sure no one felt invisible under his watch. He listened, he encouraged, and he walked with them until they could walk alone. One evening, as he locked his office door, Daniel paused. Across the street, under the flicker of a broken streetlight, a young man sat with a backpack, just as he once had. Daniel crossed the road, sat down beside him, and simply said, "I've been where you are. And trust me, this isn't the end of your story." The young man looked at him with tired eyes, but for a moment there was a spark, the same spark that had once saved Daniel. And that's when Daniel truly understood. Rising from homelessness wasn't just about saving his own life. It was about reaching back, lifting others, and proving that hope multiplies when shared. From the streets to standing tall, from hopelessness to healing hearts, Daniel's journey is a reminder that no matter how far someone falls, with kindness, resilience, and faith, they can rise again and bring others with them.